Where were you 10 years ago when you found out that Prince had died? I can't believe it's been 10 years. To a certain degree, it's hard to believe that he's dead. I know where I was. I was on the news. I was on the anchor desk. Had finished our 9 a.m. show. It's just kind of a normal day. Did mid-morning over at WCCO TV. Was back at my desk. At 10 o'clock, was working on stuff. Probably answering complaint emails. I don't know. It's just a typical day. And then there was a report that something was going on out at Paisley Park in Chanhassen. And we didn't know all the details. We didn't know many details, but there was a large police presence at Paisley Park. And so I wasn't sent on the air at first. I believe it was Ali Lucci, our noon anchor. Might have been Kim Johnson. The 911 call happened at like 9:45. My question to you is, where were you? Do you remember finding out? And give me a Prince memory. Give me a memory or give me a favorite song. 651-461-9226. This all started kind of the night before. Prince was dropped off. And then this kind of one of Prince's business associates called this California doctor and said Prince was dealing with a grave medical emergency. Remember, there was sort of that circumstance with the plane that had to take like an emergency landing. I think that was 5 days before Prince died. And then he played a dance party at Paisley Park a couple days after that emergency landing. He went to a show at the Dakota. And so they called this musician in New York. I mean, it's sort of the craziness of how insular Prince's life was, that instead of getting him to the ER, you call this guy in New York who flies in to check it out, gets there at 9:30 in the morning. He was going to give this drug that was used in the treatment of opioid withdrawal. But at 9:30 in the morning, they couldn't find Prince, and then they found him in an elevator. And this guy from New York calls 911. They're like, "What's your location?" And he says, "We're at Prince's house." He was pronounced dead at 10:07 in the morning. I think we learned not that much longer after that, 10:30 or 11 that morning. And we were just on the air nonstop, of course. What I don't know if we knew at that moment was the fact that 10 years later, how big of a global impact Prince would have. And the fact that people come to Minnesota from all around the country and all around the world just to get close to Prince, to take what has been called the Purple Trail. New York Times just did a story about the Purple Trail, to go visit the murals, to visit First Avenue, to visit the restaurant that is run by his former catering chef, or the Cheesecake Funk, which is run by another woman who worked out at Paisley Park, and she's got a cheesecake that Prince loved. Let's go to the phones where we're going to listen to St. Paul Peterson, legendary musician, was in the movie Purple Rain. He joins us now on CCO. St. Paul Peterson, you got Paul, you got to remember where you were when you found out.
Absolutely. I was running a music college in the old Flight Time studios in Edina called Minneapolis Media Institute. And I was just about to teach a class, and somebody came up to me and said, "You've got to come and see this. Somebody's found dead at Paisley." And we didn't know who it was yet. And then my phone started blowing up, and we found out that it was Prince, and we were just devastated, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I was only there for a short amount of time in the Paisley family, it was super impactful, and it was just a terrible, terrible thing to hear.
You were about a teenager, right? When you first, I don't know if it's accurate or complete anyway to say that Prince discovered you, but he did discover the talent that you had as part of a very talented musical family, right?
He was my first big break. There's no doubt about that. Back when I had just graduated from high school, I was lucky enough to get an audition in More Stay in the Time to replace Jimmy Jam, who I just got off the phone with. He's out here as well. And long story short, I passed the audition, and that was the first day I met Prince.
Crazy, right? To think back at that era and how young you were, and to think, at that time you knew the talent of Prince, but I don't know, would you have guessed at that moment the way his music would endure and be so global in impact?
I don't think anybody, including he, well, actually, I should say that he probably visualized the whole thing, but I was so young and green. I was just hanging on for dear life and, trying to fit into this new situation I found myself in. I never, ever thought that this movie would be anything other than a elongated music video, if you will. But, obviously I was dead wrong.
Yeah, just crazy to watch sort of how Purple Rain has been so meaningful. And now, where are you at 10 years later, 10 years of knowing that he's gone? As you mentioned, I think everyone in the Prince sphere would describe their relationship with Prince as complicated. Right? Is that the word?
I think that's an excellent word. Yes.
Yeah. It's to me, it's still startling that it was 10 years ago because it feels like it was yesterday. But also I have been blown away at the fact that people from all around America and all around the world make that pilgrimage to Paisley Park and to Minneapolis to get close and be a part of what was transformational for music.
For sure. And Jason, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm in a hotel overlooking Grauman's Chinese Theater, where the premiere for Purple Rain was 41 years ago. And we got to this hotel last night, and what was outside our window but the premiere for the Michael Jackson movie. So to this day, those two collide, and it was amazing to see. And now tonight we'll be doing this benefit for Glam Slam and Live for Love Foundation at the W Hotel with many, many alumni from the Prince camp. Not enough. I wish we could get all of us together, but it's just crazy. 41 years later, that he's such a force still, not only in Minneapolis, St. Paul, but throughout the world.
Favorite song? Do you have a favorite song, Paul?
Probably Nothing Compares to You, because he originally wrote it for the band that I was the co-lead singer in called The Family. And we were the first to record it way before Sinead O'Connor. So that song changed my life, and it's probably the most perfect song that I think he's ever written.
St. Paul Peterson, always love talking with you, and thank you for spending a little time with us today.
You betcha. Thanks, Jason.
651-461-9226. Tons of texts coming in. We'll take your calls and hear your Prince memories. 10 years since the day that Prince died at Paisley Park in Chanhassen. Your thoughts as we continue here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right. Is this your moment? Your moment to live your best life. It's Jason for Livia and Livia Weight Control Centers. Livia changed my life. 45 pounds gone and gone for good. Think of what it could do for you. Today, Livia combines the medical side of things with GLP-1s, which, of course, have changed thousands and thousands of lives. They've got incredible award-winning nutrition, which changed my life. That 45 pounds I lost in 2022, it's 2026. I've kept that weight off all these years. And then they've added in hormone therapy because for so many people, you can feel stuck. And hormone therapy, hormone replacement therapy can be a game changer too. Let Livia and you work it out. Have a conversation. What is the best path for your life, for your schedule, for your needs, your goals? Livia can make you feel your best. GLP-1 starting at just $99, nutrition at $19 a week. Think of how much you're going to gain by losing that weight. Livia.com or 855-GO-LIVIA. So many reactions pouring in from you guys. 10 years since the death of Prince. Dave in Stillwater, I'm a chef, busy lunch line. 2 of my cooks start crying. Another texter, I actually worked for Prince for 6 years back in the early 90s to mid 90s, and I've got a ton of stories. But I did wreck his car. So that's not what I usually remember on the good side, but hey, it is a memory. I mean, wrecking Prince's car, it's not pretty good, but it's pretty good. You know what I mean? Let's go to Paul on the CCO Talk and Text line. Paul, your Prince memory?
My Prince memory, Jason, is we're sitting in my law office early morning in December 1984. A phone rings. I don't answer it. It rings again. I answer it. It's my friend Jim saying, Paul, they just opened up a second show for Prince. I said, oh, my God. Oh, my God. He said, yeah, tickets go on sale at 8. I said, I got to go to court. Are you going to get them? Oh, sure. I said, yeah, make sure you get like first in line in the queue. He did. We had seats 4 rows from the stage to see Sheila E. and Prince. But I have this memory, Jason, in my brain for the rest of my life. He was singing the song, I Will Die For You. And I was looking up right at his face, and he turned and he smiled at me. And I thought, oh, there's got to be really good looking women on either side of me. I looked, and his smile got bigger, but he looked me right in the eye. I will never forget that. And that show and the choreography of Sheila E. and the musicians. Yeah, it's the number one concert. I've gone to a lot of concerts. Recently, Dua Lipa in LA, Lady Gaga Friday night. I could talk forever. That's the number one show I've ever seen in my life. And actually, I'm getting kind of teared up talking about it. Yeah. With the 10-year anniversary and that memory in my mind. Yeah. But it was just wonderful.
That's magical. Thank you for sharing that with us, Paul. Let's go to Mary in White Bear Lake. Mary, 10 years.
Hi, Jason.
Thanks for listening. Go ahead.
When we heard the news about Prince, we were in Hawaii at a Hard Rock Cafe restaurant having lunch, and he found one of the waiters found out we were from Minnesota. So from there on, they played all Prince music.
Oh, yeah. Pretty cool.
Now, I have to tell you, this happened to me late 70s, early 80s. I was making a delivery out in Eden Prairie, I think. And the address was an old Michelin tire building. And I drove up to the building, and I had to drive around to the back of the building to get into it. So I loaded all the stuff, my equipment on, and I was bringing it into this building, and it was empty. It was like a warehouse. And it was all dark except for one corner. There was like a glass enclosed place, like a little room. So I'm looking at this room, and there was a guy in there with headphones on, and he was singing. And I'm like, is that oh my gosh. So I'm walking closer to him, just watching him. And from behind, one of his bodyguards came up and questioned me, how did you
Right.
get in here? What are you doing? And I'm like, is that? And he said, yes, it is. I said, oh my gosh. And he said, you cannot tell anybody because his fans keep driving him away from every time he's trying to record. His fans are driving him away. I said, I won't say a word.
Wow.
I was so excited. And then a few years later, we went to a Prince concert, and it was the best concert ever.
Mary, thank you. Jan in Greenwood. 10 years since the death
I
of
know.
Prince. It's crazy, isn't it?
Very. I live about 6 miles from Paisley Park. And he used to have, he called them like pop-up concerts.
Yes.
So you could go down there, and I think it was like $20 and see a whole concert of Prince down there for $20.
Crazy, right?
Right. And then sometimes he goes, well, if you guys aren't tired, he'd rent out the whole Chanhassen movie theater. So he'd invite anybody out from Paisley to go to watch a movie down there. And he always played Finding Nemo was his favorite. And as soon as you walked into Paisley Park, he would have Finding Nemo on a big screen in his front foyer. It was fun. It was so much fun.
Jen, thank you. Some of that childlike aspect of Prince for sure. Dan, we were talking before about some of the memories that you had.
There's so many good ones out there. I mean, two that popped to mind right away, obviously, are his Hall of Fame performance when they were honoring, now I'm blanking on the former Beatle, George Harrison.
Yes.
And he was doing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And I go back and I watch that video all the time, but you watch the band member that's doing the initial solo and he's pouring his heart into it and doing his thing. And then Prince comes on stage and does his solo and just melts everybody's face off in the audience. It's just so you forget what a brilliant guitar player he was above everything else. So that's obviously a big one. Everybody goes back to the Super Bowl too, and Purple Rain in the Rain, and that's iconic.
Judy in St. Paul's first date with her husband of 36 years was the world premiere of Purple Rain in Minneapolis, July of 1984. Forever attach this song and this artist with that memory. It's pretty cool. Another texter was 15 when Prince passed away and going to Chanhassen High School. Still remembers the hush coming over the cafeteria as everybody was getting ready for classes, and word started to spread quickly that he was dead. And he remembers kids older than me going to their cars and leaving. Yeah. I still maintain that the biggest thing Minnesota could do to revitalize our downtowns would be a Prince museum. I know we have Paisley Park in Chanhassen, but I think people are hungry for Prince and Dylan, and especially Prince. And if you built some sort of Prince museum in downtown Minneapolis, people would come. People would come.